We're in the shop here the other day building that fleshing beam, and Blake thought he heard, or we both thought we heard a mouse kind of chewing or scurrying or something like that. So Blake thought he'd make them a swimming pool. So what he did there is take a water jug, cut the top off, and then made some ramps and took some pop cans, and we baited it with some peanut butter. So when the mouse goes up, steps on there and goes for a swim. It's nice of them to build them a little swimming pool like that. I know it's winter time and they're looking for a place to hang out and swim and stuff like that, so it's very nice of them. All right, we'll let you know if we ever catch anything in here swimming. All right, today we're going to talk about a baited beaver set. I was going to try and do some under ice beaver trapping this year, but it's not working out. Every time I had a bit of time, got busy with other stuff, and then we got a bunch of snow and terrible weather and stuff like that, so decided not to do it. And now the days are a little bit longer and warmer. I was going to get on it, but there's already flood ice there, and the ice is starting to get pretty soft, so I don't want to go after that, so I'll wait till everything opens up and then I'll go catch some beavers then. But I wanted to show you guys something I came up with a couple of years ago. It's just a 2-inch PVC pipe, and then it's cut. And you can pull it apart. I have the tape on this end here just to act as an end cap, and it's nice and bright. Inside I have 2 cables, 1x16 cable, and this one here is an 1.25 inch PVC pipe. So what I did here is I drilled a hole here for each of the cables to go through, and then I crimped it on the other side so the cable goes right through. And then I have another hole here in the middle, along with the hole in the middle here, so when I go to put them together, they fit together with a piece of wire. So with this end, how I attach it to my my trap is I have 2 little pieces of hay wire. And then I have it go through one of the springs of the eye. Then I have it go through this spring hole, and then it goes right through, and then I just take my hay wire and close it off. Doesn't have to be done up real tight because there's nothing for resistance. This is going to be a hanging baited 330 set. So I do the same thing on the other side. And then just pull it tight. Same thing on this side. And then now I can hang my beaver trap. But I want to get some bait in there. And how I do that is I have a piece of aspen or poplar cut to the width of the trap. And I took a soup can lid off the top, and then I drilled it into this here piece of wood, and I shaved up a bit so it shows the color, so the beaver is going to see that, see it's nice and green. And then I screwed that in, and there's a little hole on each side there. I'll show you what that's in a second. So with that little piece, as I take a piece of wire, doesn't have to be too long. Feed this wire through it. Give it a couple twists. And then I go onto the eye of my trap. and I put it in there. So when the trap fires, my bait doesn't float away. So I always have my bait with me. And then my bait attaches. Get it centered. And it attaches just like that in the soup can, and it can't move. And then when the trap fires, Beaver will be in here, and my bait goes off to the side, and then I can reuse it. So that's one way of doing it. So I'll show you how this all looks. This way there's no waste of time looking for sticks and stuff like that. Of course it's going to get caught in everything. But when you're on top of the ice, there's nothing really for it to get caught to. So I just roll it up. And now I'm going to pretend to put it into my hole. So by twisting it, I can adjust my height. If I want it closer to the surface, I can go like that. If I want it lower, I can go and lower it that way. Just to show you how I attach it here. So remember I said there's a hole here and a hole here. So what I'm going to do is kind of line them up a bit. Get another piece of wire. Feed it through the one. And then feed it through the other. Twist them together. So let's just pretend this is the top of this table's where the hole is where your trap goes through. So this is going to keep your trap from going underneath the water under the ice, and it's all going to hang like that, nice and good. And then when you make a catch, you just undo this wire. Bring your beaver up, roll that up. Let it settle out. I usually have these springs right up like that, but just for demo purposes. The trigger is a T and your bait's on the inside. So your beaver's going to come around, and they're used to grabbing the bait, and they'll grab it and then hit the trigger and then get caught. Nice handy, simple. You can pre-make a bunch of these. And they take no room for storage. You don't have to go looking for sticks, waste time cutting like that. It's totally reusable. Store it, you just close everything up again. Give your wires a little twist so they stay put. And slide it all back in. Just tough to get a little started. Once you get the throws in, there you go. Stores good, always leave a little bit out. It's tight enough, it's not going to come out. And it gives you a little bit of a handle to get started and open it up again. So the bait is using, here's about 2 to 3 inch piece of poplar. And I'll show you a little photo of how I have this trigger on there in a second. You can go a little bit bigger, poplar, like this, but then it takes up more of your trap. So sometimes the beavers will go by and hit it and not set your trap off. But if you use smaller chunks of bait, they'll get caught no problem. And here's another, that was a Belial 330, and this is a Savageau trap I use. The bait's a little bit different and how we cut this one up. This one actually, you wedge it and then you can compress your jaws on it as you close it up, and it's going to hold it tight. Same idea, your triggers are teed and then your bait's wedged in on the side and it's not going anywhere. What you can do with this one as well, this wood is drilled. I can take my wire, give that a twist, and I can wire it up to my spring here. It's not a good idea to wire your bait to your jaws of your trap, just because with the resistance of it going through the water, you could miss it or have a bad catch further back. At least this way, with your bait right here, the head's going to usually be right in the opening, so you'll catch them by the head or by the shoulders, and then your bait can float away and not disappear. You can reuse it. Very handy. Wanted to show you guys that this year, but I never got around to it. But I wanted to give you guys a chance to make some and play with them there for next winter. And how you make this wedge here. As you get your piece of wood, I like to make mine about 1 inch wider than the jaws. And you can take an axe or machete and you just taper it, and just taper a little bit, try it and see how much more you need. Then you get the hang of it. On about a 2.5 inch piece of log, it's about 1.5 inch gap you need. So try when you make it, make sure they're straight across your tapers. Sometimes when you get going and not paying attention, your tapers will be off centered, and then just makes it not be stable inside your trap. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that, and hopefully you enjoyed it. Good luck out there. Spring beavers trapping's coming, and hopefully all this snow disappears. Catch you at the next set. So just to go over this bait stick here. So the bait stick is narrower than the jaw opening. It's about 2 inch to 2.5. If you go much bigger, then it fills too much of this up, and you start to have problems with refusals. And the soup can lid, just 2 holes drilled in there and screwed in. And these holes here gives you options to tie your connection wire. And I like to tie these wires up to either this arm or right in the eye. And that way when the beaver gets caught, this comes loose and it's out of the way. If this is too long, then sometimes your bait floats up and gets stuck to the ice, but it doesn't happen very often. So to get this in here, I will try it one-handed, but I don't know if I can do it. Nope, doesn't look like I can do it, so just hold on one sec. So I got it in, and then I just compress it, and then that bites between the two there. And from there, when you have your trigger on the first notch, and these bent to the side, the beaver will go through and get caught when it hits your trigger, and that holds it nice and solid. There's no shaking it loose, or if they bump it, doesn't disappear. And that's how I set up my Belial 330s with a bait. So to show you the difference with a Savageau, when you compress this together, there's still a big gap. And in that gap on the edge, when you squeeze it, there's quite a bit of play there. So if we put our bait stick in, just trying to fish that little wire through there. So when I compress it now, that bait stick gets held in there nice and tight. And then with this wire here, runs up and ties off to the arm. You don't want to tie your bait to your trap jaws, because the resistance of that going through the water slows the trap down, and you end up with poor catches or misses. So there's two notches on your dogs. There's that one and then this one. I usually go on my tightest one for my Savageaus. Just gives it a bit more resistance on the trigger. Then it holds that piece of wood in there nice and tight. You can shake it, it doesn't go anywhere. And that's how I set up my Savageaus. I like Savageaus. They're an awesome trap. I like them for my baited under ice sets, almost better than my Belials, but I don't have that many of these ones. Belials, I have quite a few, so I end up using those more often. That's where that soup can lid comes in handy. These take a bit of time to build, but once you have them for the season, you're good. You can't really reuse them year to year because they dry out and shrink, and then they get sloppy. But it's something you can play with over the summer and try it out and see if you like it. All right, we'll catch you later.